And thank you for the introduction. That was wonderful. So Occipital AI, give you a little bit of background, overview on us, who we are. We are a team of industry experts that are AI-based focused vision solutions in both robotics and quality systems with years of experience in the automation industry. Our core technology, as you can see on our slides, is trusted by numerous manufacturers in the food and beverage space primarily. About 80% of our business is in the food, and is backed by many significant investors. So before I get into the presentation and get into some of the use cases that we use for our vision solutions, I first want to kind of make sure everybody's on the same level in terms of understanding our technology. So first and foremost, the core to our technology is what we call synthetic data generation. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with synthetic data generation for AI. So what we do with our technology is we can use a small subset of products and use that to generate our neural network. So millions of scenarios by doing generative AI or synthetic data. So we can take into color, into shape, into defect attributes, put that into our neural network, and then come out with those millions of different scenarios for the customer. And what that means is we don't need to create a large data set of products. We don't need to label a lot of products in order to create that neural network that can identify something like on a food product, a defect that can be very challenging to find. So just to give you a little bit of background, I don't know how many people have used AI as all-based systems. I don't know if anybody in the group here has. I don't know if you've ever done any of the pre-trained labeling. So really, I wanted to kind of level set everybody just to get an understanding of what your knowledge base is. So a lot of our competitors in the AI space use what we call pre-trained labeling. I call it a whack-a-mole problem. So they give you out of the box, they give you the tools in order to create your AI network. And what that means is you have to take images of your product, and then you actually label those products. So you might have, in this example we're showing here, we're showing squares and triangles and circles. Well, when you first generate your AI neural network with some of our competitive products out there, it might say a square is a circle. So you have to actually label those products, and then you rerun that network again. In addition, they don't take into account necessarily the variability in lighting that you see in an area. So you're using that 2D camera to take your images, and then you're labeling it based on those images. In addition, it's just basic 2D imagery. So you're only getting that 2D visualization of the product. How we differentiate ourselves is it's trained by us. So out of the box, when you get an occipital vision solution, it includes that neural network all created out of the box. So we've changed the paradigm in terms of how you create that. There's no more need for labeling. When it gets to you, we've done that generative AI and developed all that neural network for you. So when you present it with your product, we've already created that network behind the scenes up front. So you tell us your product, we create that network, and then when you get it, there's no need for training of modules at your facility. So we can take into account things like backgrounds, account for the environmental changes. Maybe your lighting in the morning is brighter than it is in the afternoon. Maybe your conveyor belt over the life of 6 months is getting gradually darker. We take that all into account with our neural network and can apply that so that when things change in your environment, the model will follow with it. And then not only that, we take a 3D image of your product when we generate that neural network for you. And that allows us to get more data and more information to generate the AI-based model solution. That allows us to be able to be more accurate, more repeatable with the solution, and also provide you with 3D pose information. So we have a fully integrated platform. The product consists of several different pieces of hardware. We run everything on an industrial PC, 2D and 3D vision cameras, and then we have our analytics tools as well as intuitive tools. So we still give you, I talk about this being out of the box, ready to run. We still give you tools to be able to make adjustments. Maybe you want your thresholds lowered, maybe you want your rejection rates to be changed. We do give you those tools to pull levers once we generate that AI network for you. And like I said, that gives you that deep understanding out of the box and on the edge. So pre-trained with synthetic data, no image capture or labeling required, and it's robust, ready to work right in that environment. So just to wrap this part of our presentation up, most manufacturers struggle with labor in one way or another, whether it's getting the labor they need to run through production or to retrain that labor. When you look at the food industry, this is even more challenging as consumers. Demand can change rapidly in the environment. Even the workers in the environments, right? One day it's hot and dry, the next day it's cold and wet in that environment, and people just don't want to work those jobs anymore. I give a great example of that reduction on labor dependence. A great example is we've got a plant that we work with down south, and an Amazon plant opens up next door. What does that person want to do moving forward? Do they want to work in the Amazon plant, or do they want to work in a cold, dirty environment cutting product or chicken, for instance, in this example? So I wanted to explore a few different use cases with you so you can get a better understanding of our technology. And I broke it up into 3 categories. The first category is inspection. The second category is inspection with machine control. And lastly, inspection plus robot guidance. So I've got a lot of different use cases in here, and I'll highlight our technology in a little bit more detail as well. These are the 3 areas of focus for us with our core technology. So that first use case is inspection. Up here is a great example of us handling mandarins. This is a customer on the West Coast. As you can imagine, there's an infinite amount of possibilities that a mandarin could appear as, right? From a size, from a shape, and those defects as well. They could appear as bruising, they could appear as scarring, long stems or rot. All of these different pieces, all of these different types of defects can present themselves in various natures or various forms. And that pre-trained synthetic data allows us to capture all those different variations. We train that product on a small subset of these defects, and then we create those millions of scenarios that these defects could potentially show up in. And this allows this customer in particular, they actually use our technology to adjust their more expensive hyperspectral machines upstream from this. So as the day goes along and their fruit comes in from the farms, they have the ability to take our data, capture what is getting past their high-end systems, and utilize that to make changes or adjustments to their quality upstream systems. We also, in this example here, you can see the long stems where we identify those long stems and remove those from the process. And long stems can be challenging as well. And then lastly, you've got rot, right? Rot, you don't want that to come into your bag when you get home. Rot, one bad clementine can ruin a whole entire package of product. And you get a numerous amount of data with each inspection. This is just giving you a level. This is our insights platform. And at the top level, you have the ability to look into any single defect throughout your day, because we generate this all up on the cloud for you. So you can see in this example here, we can see the defect statistics throughout the day of the different types of scarring that we saw. So they can get an idea: is it coming in from the field incorrect? Was it a bad batch from an end user? Or what is going on in their process that they can make real-time adjustments to. You also get the defect statistics as well, and get an idea of the typical size of the scarring. And this goes into what I was talking about earlier, where you can use that data to make real-time adjustments to more your higher-end equipment at the beginning of the process line. Our Expression Analytics platform provides you with in-depth look at your production. So your ability to look overall process data, drill down into a specific detail data, and access real-time images and data. This helps identify trends over time, such as cleaning shifts, or maybe there was personnel that didn't do the proper process, or even at the same time get a total understanding of your process and find out where there's areas of improvement that can happen. So I have a few other use cases I wanted to share in just inspection only for you, just to kind of generate some ideas of how you could potentially use this technology. One area of interest is in grading of chicken. So we have the ability using our AI neural network to grade chicken. This can be used a few different ways, right? Grading a chicken, sending out chicken at a higher yield or a higher grade than what is required by the customer is giveaway to the process manufacturer. But we have the ability to find the amount of fat and provide that data upstream so that they can adjust their cutting methods to make sure that the yield or that the grade is at the proper grade level. Incoming inspection is another interesting area that we're seeing customers work at. We have the ability, because we're storing an immense amount of data on the cloud, they can incoming inspect from the farms. Most of these produce manufacturers will bring in these truckloads of produce from a farm, and the farmers get paid on the quality of that produce that's coming in. A lot of times right now what they do is they do a spot check of that product, and then they give the price back to the farmer. We can do that real-time incoming inspection. They can look at the fruit, and then they have that data to back up why they're charging that farmer the price that they are on the crop that they provided, and even provide a report at the end of the year of the quality to the farmer of what their produce looked like and what the quality of the product is for them. And the data collection can also be used to help you justify plant level decisions. We're having some customers just use this to monitor their process, not necessarily make any kind of real-time decisions with what's going on in their quality process, but to understand upstream or downstream what might be causing issues that can help generate that next opportunity to make process improvements. So our second use case is inspection plus machine control. And what I mean by that is, in this example here, we've got corn dogs coming down a processing line, and we are looking for multiple types of defects. In this example, I see a couple up there in the upper left-hand corner. We're looking for things like broken sticks. We're looking at the color of the corn dog to see if it's burnt. Looking for missing batter. And last but not least, my favorite personal one is the double dog. Although I don't know if I would be upset if I got a double corn dog in a piece of packaging. But having this type of information real time allows for us to do real-time machine control upstream. So in this example here, the customer we can look at the shading of the corn dogs, understand that it's getting darker over time, and make real-time adjustments to their upstream machine that's handling the fryer of the corn dog. So we can maybe slow down the fryer because it's going through too fast, or speed up the process, or maybe we need to increase the temperature. We can all do this before a human intervention could occur on the process. We use this for numerous other examples as well. Tilling is another great example that we've worked with some customers, because it's not just 2D but 3D information. We can estimate using our AI solution the size of the strawberry. So we can accurately, based on the density of the strawberry, make a weight determination and till a strawberry packaging. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with what they do, but those strawberry packages need to be over a certain weight. But they don't want to have giveaway either. They want the smallest possible strawberry to get them over that weight, so that they're not giving away a product. So we have the ability to use our AI solution to identify the strawberries based on size, determine the weight, and then select it from the process to pick the right one to till the product over the weight. Another great example is pepperonis or pizzas. At high rates of speed, being able to count the amount of pepperonis on the top, look at the coverage of cheese and sauce, and then being able to make adjustments to those processes in real time. So if it's over serving pepperonis, you're getting 25 pepperonis instead of 20, that's obviously giveaway again. So they can make those adjustments to the equipment. Or the pizza's not getting the proper amount of sauce, and we can make those determinations. Even when it's overlapping and covered, we can see and get an understanding of what's going on. And then I talked a lot about food. So I wanted to focus something too on CPG. In this example, we're looking at deodorant containers. And again, similar to these other examples that I provided, we can look for things like label placement. Maybe we're getting all of a sudden cracked cases coming down the line. All things that we can immediately make upstream adjustments to processes to allow for real-time improvement and reducing the amount of waste that is coming off of a manufacturing line. So a few more use cases, inspection plus guidance. But before I get into this use case, I wanted to put a little bit of highlights on guidance. That's really where we started as an organization. We were a guidance company first. We have been in business in this space for over 6 years. We actually divested out of another group this year, actually rebranded ourselves as Occipital AI. But prior to that, we were only focused on guidance applications, and that's kind of really our core where we started. And guidance is where we started and developed a real-time picking solution. And a great example of this is on this next slide here. So picking from bulk or chaotic flow can be incredibly challenging. And we can take our upstream real-time solution right in the area of the robot and pick from chaotic flow. You can see here with corn, you can imagine how difficult it is to pick piles of corn down at high speeds of rate, 60 to 100 picks per minute, and be able to find them as they're moving around the conveyor belt, and it can be incredibly challenging. So I really wanted just to let you know that's where we founded our business, and then we've moved into inspection. And that gets into this use case here. So we were challenged by one of our customers because we were picking from bulk chicken breasts for stylized tray packing. Well, the problem of the challenge that was presented to us is that's great. You can pick from stylized tray packing. You can pick chicken from bulk for stylized tray packing, but it's really important to us as your customer that we need to be able to identify, are we looking at the muscle side or the membrane side of the product? So we were able to incorporate our AI to inspect to see if we can make a decision between the membrane side or the muscle side of the product, because nobody here wants to get, if you ever looked at the muscle side of a chicken breast, it's not the most appealing. They don't want that showing to the customer. They're most likely going to walk to the other chicken manufacturer and select their chicken breast instead. So we were able to incorporate our inspection tools to determine the muscle side and the membrane side of the product. It's incredibly, if you come to our booth over in Upper Lake, you can see this in action. It's pretty impressive to see just how slight of a difference it is between the muscle and membrane side and the ability for the AI solution to be able to determine the two. And we use this as well in other use cases as well. So a great example here is on the hamburgers. We can identify hitchhikers. They're little pieces of meat that come on a burger. They can be attached to the side. They can be attached on top. Again, it goes to that appearance to the consumer, right? You don't want a hamburger to come in and have small pieces of meat attached to it. We can also look for cracks and crevices in the burgers, as well as look at as a color. Similar to this, we use our robotic picking solution. These are coming down a conveyor belt. We use our robotic picking solution then to pick them off the conveyor belt and place them for rework or scrap, whatever it might be for the customer. Another use case is in the corn industry. You saw the video there before. We first got into picking corn and placing it into tray pack, but the trend in that corn space now is to have window corn, which means that you have to have the husk still on 3/4 of the piece of corn. So we have the ability with our AI inspection to be able to find the husk, also look for defects like tip fill, missing kernels, and other defects, and then stylized tray pack it into the what you'd see at the grocery store. And this last one, we all have seen those juice pouches. This is a little bit more of a simple application. We're just looking for straws and also making sure the product is oriented properly. We remove the product that's not oriented properly or missing straws. But really what the challenge here for more traditional vision tools is the fact that it's a shiny reflective material. And even in all that variation from package to package can be really challenging for more traditional vision tools. We can identify where that straw is regardless of the reflections we're getting, and also verify that that the labeling is properly placed. So just to summarize and to wrap up, all these use cases I shared with you have tremendous benefits in increasing yield, improving throughput and quality, and lastly, reducing waste and rework. I really appreciate everybody's time today. I got a few 7-8 minutes to answer any questions that you might have.